So, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Iyanolu Ashorio. My friends call me IY Pumping, and you can as well call me IY Pumping. Today we're going to be talking about rape culture and how it has affected our society and our generation basically. So I think we should dive into the video. And I mean, you guys have seen Mr. Todutaiwo before, so he'll just tell us what rape is about and all. So
Hi everyone, thank you for having me here again. So I think the first thing is maybe we have to be very specific and careful about the whole terminology. Rape culture is, if we look at it like it's rape culture, I mean culture is like that's how people live. I think it's dangerous to say there's rape culture as it is, but of course that's not to make a meal of the actual crime rate. So I'm just trying to say that rape is not a culture. That's what I mean. Like, if it's a culture, then it means it's acceptable, and then a lot of people will be doing it. But it isn't on a moral level and at legal level. So, but rape in itself is a terrible thing to do. And then, but if we were to define it and not to try to be so tight with the definition, I think we can look at it from both the moral and the legal aspect. So from a legal aspect, from Nigerian angle, a lot of our laws are borrowed from one of the origins of our sources of law is the English law. So taking directly from the UK Constitution, rape can only just paraphrasing, rape can only be done by a man. So a woman cannot rape a man, and if a man is raped, it can only be done by a man, right? In Nigeria, in Abuja, in Nigeria, everywhere in Nigeria, a man is not considered to be able to be raped, except in Abuja. So Abuja is the only place where a man can be considered to be raped, right? So that's the legal aspect of it. From the moral aspect, I don't think there's any debate about it. It's close to murdering somebody. Rape is right, like Hopton, right? So I think we need to work in a way where rapists will not be working in our society. We need to have strong legal system that they face the maximum punishment for such serious crime. But then the big problem with rape is how do you prove it? How do you prove somebody raped if it's not immediate? So because we see a lot of times that people come out years later, that they were raped by some guy, but that does not help the case. But I can also understand why they don't come out immediately, because I think we don't have a good legal system that protects people or that takes the issue seriously. That's how I put it. Because at the same time, in this day and age, some people can also use it as a means of ruining other people's life. So when let me just make it from the legal definition. When a woman comes out and says she was raped, I think it should be taken very, very seriously. But prior to that, we need to have legal systems that ensures that it can be taken very seriously. Because one of the issues, like I said, is like it's hard to prove somebody was raped if it's especially not immediately like it's reported. So but in the US, I think the way they try to solve that is there's this thing called that they have sexual assault kits. Yeah. So if you are sexually assaulted, you can go and take some kits. So so they test those kits, and then from then they are able to draw out DNAs of people you have come in contact with recently, and from there they take up the investigation. But unfortunately, it isn't clear to me how we will be able to do that here, because we don't even have I don't know if we have a database of DNA, right? So I don't know if that's something that the sexual assault kits will be able to work here if we don't have DNA. But if we are going to have that DNA, that sexual assault kit working, then we need to start where we need to start the system from is to ensure we have a database of DNA and the clinics that are around easily. If a woman was raped, she can easily go there, get those sexual assault kits, get tested, and then from there we can be able to track the people or the person who was performed that rape action. But even in the US, they also face some challenges in this sexual assault thing, because I think in 2018 there's this woman called she's an actress and a producer. She does something called End the Backlog, a documentary called End the Backlog. Her name is Mariska Agate, right? So she has something like an NGO or a foundation that is called End the Backlog. What End the Backlog does is that it tries to get untested rape cases that police have not actually looked at, and some of them go as far back as the 1980s. So even when women come out and say that when women come out later, maybe some of them were raped years before, and people start throwing at them. Now, why did they come out then? So it's not like, so for them it's not particularly a case of whether they came out at the time it was done. Like, even the people that came out that used the sexual assault kits, police did not assess those kits to take the case serious, and this is going 30 years back or more. But and our foundation is called End the Backlog. So maybe people can look it up and try to see how it's done. So I also think in this technological age that we are, it's not impossible that technology can help when somebody is trying to get sexually assaulted or raped. I don't know if I want to believe there might be apps that can be put on either our phones or our wristwatch, our smartwatches. Is it like maybe if you shake your hands maybe like 7 times or something? But it's not clear to me how that can, or there has to be a rigorous way that the hands has to be shaking, that can alert maybe the police or emergency lines. But I'm sure they might, if people could have sessions with software developers, I'm sure they will be able to think of ways they can use technology to help the cause. But it's not, I'm not a tech guy, so it's not really clear in my head how that can work. But I'm just speaking of the trend that technology is making a lot of things easier these days. Maybe there's a possibility that if someone is getting sexually assaulted, there's some way technology can help. And there are some other things that I always recommended: pepper spray, ladies going and pepper spray, avoiding late nights, but at the same time, there's a rebuttal from women to the avoiding late night. Because I understand the rebuttal, because some people take it like when they tell ladies to avoid late night, ladies take it as they are being blamed for getting raped. But I think both parties are not getting the whole point. If you are working late at night, regardless of who you are actually exposing yourself to some form of danger now. Right? So it's like, if you're working late at night, you can meet somebody who's just going to rob you or do something that the person not supposed to do to you. So stealing from you, robbing you, and rape are just one of those things. So I would hope that people who suggest to ladies not to work at night will not make it look like they are blaming the women if they were to, in the unfortunate event that some of them get raped. And I would hope that women, when they are told that they should not work at night, they will not see it as they are being blamed or they are also asking to be raped. So it's more like being safe in general. And so from a personal experience, there was a time when I was in school in 2017. So burglars used to come to my house and I would come out and chase them. Right? So there was one time that they came again. I was thinking they were burglars, apparently they were armed robbers. So I went out and chased them and I got shot. So you can look back and that, like, that was quite a stupid thing to do, because I could have easily died. I was shot twice. So it's not like, not going outside at night is not necessarily, it's not to put the blame on women. It's another safety measure to kind of reduce it.
There are people that get raped in their houses
Oh, yeah.
and all of that, or get raped by a friend, you know. And I feel like right now, because of social media, like a lot of people are coming out, and we live in a very expressive society right now. Like everybody wants to tell their story, everybody wants to be heard, and all. Unlike the times from way back, our parents, like all those kind of things, they'll probably have covered it up or found a way to blame the girl, or found a way to, may not blame anybody, but just, don't talk about it, don't, and leave it like that. And those are the things that are still existing in our society now, that make people still feel like, I know that a lot of victims actually don't actually come out to say, I've been raped, because of the kind of judgment they feel that they will get from people. And that is where I feel like we need to even actually start, finding solutions to how to stop rape, and how it's not that anybody is a victim, or or the person should be discriminated, or be put in a position that it's the person's fault. Understand that there are times that rape happened, and you just don't understand it, because honestly, like, there's no way to understand how someone will rape somebody. There's no, it doesn't make sense. That's why whatever leads up to even rape doesn't make sense. Because you find out that I know someone that got raped, and the story didn't make sense. Like, if I think about it logically, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, how does this happen? How did all of this happen? And like, you didn't at any point in time feel like you need to check yourself. So I feel like it's very important for the society itself to find a way of raising kids that are expressive and don't feel judged. Yeah, you might say something that is silly and all, but like, I think we need to start raising kids in a way for that they can express themselves without feeling judged, and not making it an issue that, okay, you were raped, and then it's something that's yeah, it's bad, but like, it's not something that should be covered. In this, like, honestly, like, I found out, like, a lot of, you find out that when I was talking to somebody randomly, and somebody, she heard someone got raped, and she was like, the way that girl dresses safe, and I'm like, that's not. And that is the funniest thing, is we're talking, if we're looking at the number of Nigerians that have on social media, it's not. And let's just say that people on social media actually woke, quote and unquote, they're not up to half or quarter of Nigerians that actually experience these things and have the mentality that it should be covered. Majority of them don't use social media. So this person was raped. I was just listening to a story, for example, and the woman was saying a 3-year-old girl got raped, and she said that the child is a wayward child. That's why she always going to that man's house. And that is someone that does not use social media. And that was what was going through our mind. So I feel like there should be more awareness of this thing, and schools should have awareness, let people talk about all these things, and even at home, let's discuss it and find a way of educating our kids, not just the girls, like, but the guys also, like, how things should be done and all. So that's my own solution to it, that it should start from home, and then, like, the home will now build up to a society and all of that. So
Okay, so you made a number of very good points, like things starting from home, how kids are raised to express themselves. Like, if someone gets sexually assaulted, I mean, they're able to come and talk about it. But I think that also I think if there was a system that allows that, people will be able to come out. I mean, there would be more. If there was a system that liberated people to come and express themselves, they would. But but more importantly, there's something I've always been, I don't know if it's worried about or curious. I may be ignorant on it, but I don't think I have ever seen anything that the Ministry of Women Affairs does. I don't even know who the ministress is. I don't think they have a direction. I don't think they do anything. Because a lot of these things that you said, that the way they raise from family and everything, especially those people that are not on social media and are not woke, I think there's a very high possibility that there's some tradition that is in it. Because I want to believe, I mean, some of these people are like living in villages, and so there's some customs or something that makes them think some of these things are okay. But from my understanding of law, for anything customary or for customary laws or traditional laws to be enforceable, they have to meet two criteria. So the first one is that they must not be repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience. Right. So just by evidence or just by definition itself, rape or sexual assault is repugnant to good conscience, equity, and justice. The second one is that they must not be incompatible, either directly or by implication, to any judicial precedent. So if you have to rape somebody, then you have robbed them of some judicial precedent, like freedom of expression, like you said, when people are blaming a woman or how she dressed. You have the freedom of expression, so that's embedded in freedom of expression. So my sense is, like, if we could start from, we shape our societies and where we live based on laws and ethics. So ethics are not necessarily written, but we know they are wrong. But not everything that is wrong is illegal. But if people know they are going to be accountable, they are going to be punished for something, yes, then maybe they are going to start changing the behavior. So all of these things, if we have people who are saying, like, somebody blaming a 3-year-old, why is she, like, what the hell does the 3-year-old people know? So why would you think that? So if those kind of people are not punished for that, and they are starting from the angle, and if those people's claim is that this is our custom or our tradition, then they have to start from the angle of, like, your custom or tradition is not meeting the criteria for it to be enforceable, which are those two things I mentioned. Like, it is repugnant to natural justice, and it is incompatible to the judicial precedent, which is freedom of expression.
Okay, so you think that's a solution?
I think that's where you can start, and I really want. Maybe I will do some more studying on who the hell the Ministress of Women Affairs is. I don't know if I ever made that, but I think that's the most stupid and redundant ministry ever. I mean, I'm not saying it should be scrapped, but I don't think women can be going through all these things, and there's somebody that is there that's supposed to do something, and they have never done anything.
So I think that we have a lot of things to do in our society, and I think it also starts from us. So we should try and make the change. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends, tell another friend. Bye.